a lot of reaction to our last podcast, and in
Okay.
particular, a conversation that we had surrounding Sheryl Swoopes, who had joined a podcast and was, talking about quote unquote Caitlin Clark, amongst various other topics. And I'm always really hesitant to sort of address things like a second and a third time after addressing them the first time, just because
Okay.
it keeps it fresh in the news cycle, right? But I want to address the situation despite the fact I've already apologized last Friday because of a couple of reasons. A, because I just went to NABJ and I sold these journalists on doing proper research. And B, because I want to answer to the folks who think that I waffled or took a step back because I was somehow influenced by some woke mob that forced me to. So the situation, very quickly, if you don't know, was I kind of took the bait and I said that Sheryl Swoopes, based on some of these clickbait headlines from the story about Caitlin Clark, was giving some hater. It was giving off hater. Now here's where I messed up. I didn't do enough research. Okay. I have been, Gary, working at a furious pace, as you know. And I have been telling myself subliminally for a while, like, you need to slow down, or you need to be putting more thought into the things that you say, or you need to be doing a little bit more research. We tend to put our feet up a little bit in the summer. And I've been sort of, jack of all trades, master of none this thing for a while. And it bit me in the ass last week because I made a judgment on someone and about someone without knowing the full story, without listening to the actual podcast, without not getting the full context behind it. When I said Sheryl Swoopes was coming off as hatery, I was looking at essentially a paraphrased quote of like Katie Lou Samuelson is better than Caitlin Clark, or these things that were attributed to her. And instead of doing what I should have done was saying, well, let me hear it for myself, I just reacted to paraphrasing type of headlines. And I have a responsibility to do better because you can wing some shit in this job, Gary. You can wing Snoop's antics at the Olympics. You can wing, he got a big and he know how to use it. You can wing a lot of these things. But when you are going to make a judgment on someone and it is going to validate an entire group of people who have said abhorrent things to said person, you've got to be right. You've got to know and be informed on what you're going to say. And I didn't do that. I did not do that. And I sent yet again an entire a vitriolic mob to Sheryl Swoopes' doorsteps. And I gave them validation to say nasty, horrible things to her. See, Elle Duncan says she's a hater. Let me be nasty to Sheryl Swoopes now. And I am so sorry to her for doing that. Listen, we have a job, Gary, where we are going to say things sometimes that people are not going to like. And I stand on my opinion of things when I am well informed, when I know I am not just being inflammatory for the sake of being inflammatory, when I know I've done my research, I can stand on said opinion. But I waffled, AKA apologized, because I could not in this situation. Because when I went back and actually listened to it after I had already started all this shit, I was embarrassed. I was like, there was so much more context behind this conversation that was necessary. And I begged people. I sat at NABJ, Gary, and I told these young journalists, you have to be a master researcher. You have to stop in a world of bad information being disseminated. We have to be the ones to do the research. We have to know both sides so that we can be informed. And then I walked right upstairs to that hotel room and I didn't look at this rundown on this show for a second because I've been playing fast and loose with just ad libbing this shit. And I made a snap judgment and it started some shit. And I'm sorry. I am so sorry to Sheryl Swoopes because she deserved better. If I was going to lay that at her doorstep, then I needed to do a better job at my job. And I did not. I failed at my job last Thursday. And that doesn't make it any better.
I'm going to stop it right there. Everything that she's saying right here, to me, is a lie. because now I've heard Sheryl Swoopes already say, "Oh, you got to go watch the whole video." So that's pretty much what she's saying. She didn't get the full context of what she's saying. She didn't watch the full podcast. Well, guess what? I did. It was hating because Gil, whoever else was there, I think it was Kenya Martin or whoever else was there, they didn't fact check her at all. And what I mean by that, she brought it to the attention. She said, "Well, she's 25. She should be bullying these girls." She was like, "You want to talk about bullying? Okay, that's 25. She should be doing this to these girls. She's putting up 40 shots a game." That's hating shit, bro. That is hating. There is no, "Oh, I need to go watch the whole thing." That's the whole thing. Yeah, they might have brought it up 15 minutes later. "Oh yeah, well she's actually 21." But guess what? You already said it with pure confidence, Sheryl Swoopes, that she's 25 and she's taking 40 shots a game. What I don't understand now. Elle Duncan is coming out with an apology. This makes me even. I'm looking at you now like, what? What are you talking about? So who's getting to your head that's making you come out with this apology all of a sudden? Because you keep bringing up, we have a job. We're in this job that where it's like, oh, you have to go with the script. You mean, or is that? Because to me, it's clear. I saw what I saw. Sheryl Swoopes, she said it very confidently. And she was defending Angel Reese, talking about, well, you want to talk about bullying? Caitlin's 25. She's taking 40 shots a game. She should be bullying these girls, or she should be doing that to these girls. Like, what kind of hating shit, man? Don't apologize for that. You were completely right the first time. What are you apologizing for? Let's continue, man.
Better for Sheryl, because now forever on the internet there lives a clip of me being like, Sheryl Swoopes is a hater.
She is.
Despite the apology that I made the next day, despite going back and going, oops, I f***ed up. That lives forever now. I can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. But I'm asking those journalists that I met to do better than me. Use this as an example. Use this as an example. We owe the people that we criticize that respect. We owe them the respect of knowing the full story. And if we can't do that, then we have got to have irrational amounts of humility and accountability when we do it wrong. And I did it wrong last Thursday. I did not answer to some woke mob. I did not feel the pressure from the basketball community. No one texted me. I just did the best thing that I could do in that moment, which was admit that I effed up and say I'm sorry. And I hope that Sheryl forgives me and that I will do better, and that this was a very teachable moment for me. Mm-hmm. And I apologize, and I'm hoping that we can all sort of move on and focus back on like the part of the podcast that we love the most, which is the sports part of the podcast. We've had a lot going on in the Olympics.
We're going to stop it there, man. To me, this is complete bullshit. I'm going to just call it how it is. Elle Duncan, whoever gave you the call, the text, whatever it is, don't lie to us now. Now you're lying to us. Because us as the people, we saw it clearly. And you weren't the first one to bring it up. So it's not like you're the only one saying this. Everybody's saying it. So I'm not sure how you, out of all people, are now backtracking what you're saying and apologizing. No hate, no nothing towards anybody. But, bro, that's what she said. And for her to bring it up that quickly in her mind, trying to defend Angel, that means there's a little bit of hate. That's the same day where she said, well, is it about racism? That's the same day. So look, man, I'm going to leave it at that. I mean, just more and more and more information is coming out, more and more. And I'm going to keep pounding it, bro, because the people need to hear it. I think it's completely wrong. I think everything that happened with the whole situation is wrong. I personally, no disrespect towards anybody, but this does now look like there's a little bit of trying to be a separation type thing. And I'm going to leave it at that. If you guys get it, you get it. If not, you don't. I think this is all complete, just ridiculous. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'll catch you guys on the next video. It's your boy, ceokana. Make sure you guys sub up to Game Day. If you have not, check my other channel out, ceokana. Besides that, man, let me know what you guys want to see. We got NFL preseason on the way. It's going to be iffy with that because a lot of that content is a little bit more sensitive. But I'll do what I can to get you guys the best content out. I'll catch you on the next video. We out, man.